Hey there folks, Wrel here. Today we'll be recommending the most useful certifications for the Combat Meta class in PlanetSide 2. This video is going to be a very cut and dry sort of buyer's guide, and it assumes you already know what the certification lines in equipment do. That said, we're not going to talk about weapon purchases in this video, as the starter weapons are great tools to work with as it is, and you always have a shotgun as a close quarters option anyway. In this chart, I have laid out each rank in each certification, and then I've put them into categories of importance. So green means that the certification is very important or very powerful to have early on, but that doesn't mean that you have to unlock them all. These suit slots are a pretty good example. You don't need all of them, you just need the ones that you're going to use. Yellow refers to the certs that are a little bit flexible and when you can pick them up, but usually you'd want to do it after you've established a basic setup. And lastly, red points to abilities that are geared more toward the end of the game, or abilities that just don't give the best return on investment as far as cert gain or performance in combat. Remember that what I say here is obviously my opinion, but it should give you a pretty good guideline for what you want to do with your certification points, regardless of where you are in the class's development. So that's the chart, and if you want to pause the video here, feel free, but I've also included a link directly to the chart in the video description. On top of that, I've also laid out an example path, a sort of a timeline for your first 1,000-ish certs spent. And we'll be starting at the 100 cert mark and then continue down the same path, stopping at 200, 500, and finally the 1,000 mark. And again, this is an example timeline of straight class progression. And in actuality, most people will be jumping from class to class. They're going to be getting sidetracked with smaller investments that fit their current fancy. So expect things to not work out this way in actual play. That said, let's look at our first 100 certs. So I think that it's important to pick up at least the first rank of flak armor pretty early on, because it provides a notable difference in battles with many explosives. This way, you can switch out of the Nanoweave or advanced shield capacitor that you get for free when the situation calls for it. Nanoweave gets bumped up to rank 2 for 10 certs because, much like flak armor, it's an inexpensive way to boost your survivability, and most of the time, explosives can actually be avoided by fighting indoors and away from choke points. But fighting other infantry is a constant, so every time you walk away from an exchange with barely any health bar left, you'll know that it's because of that second rank in Nanoweave. Restoration kits are also a good purchase early on because of the 30 cert cost over the medical kits 50. I wouldn't want to go more than one rank deep here though, as medical kits are the better option in most situations, and they're what you should really be ranking up in the long view. If you'd like to just save up 20 more certs and go straight for it, that's up to you, but either way, both the medical kit and the restoration kit are universal unlocks, meaning that you only need to unlock them once, and it's going to translate to all of your classes. Outside of that, the first couple of ranks in your medical applicator and nano regen device will make a marked difference in your ability to revive and heal in combat, and that's what the class is about. If we go this direction, you'll be left with 18 certifications as we carry on. So after you've established those hard basics, it might be a good idea to shift your focus specifically toward your medical applicator, as a max rank med tool is a night and day difference in not only effectiveness, but also your cert gain. By now you've probably gotten a feel for the weapon that you're using, and investing into a proper sight is probably a good idea as well. Scopes are mostly preference, but generally speaking, a 1x or a 2x reflex sight is going to give you a clearer view of your target, which means quicker acquisition, which will hopefully translate into being able to defend yourself more easily. And if you pull both of those with certification points, then you're going to be left with 38. From there, we're grabbing the 4th rank of our medical applicator and then taking a slight detour to bump up our nano regen device. Rank 4 medical applicators are a pretty cozy spot as far as revive speed, revive health, and revive distance, so there's no shame in sitting here for a while if you're looking to develop another class, or if you're trying to pool for revive grenades, but you will notice a huge difference when you max out the tool, so it's definitely what you should be shooting for. That said, we're going to leave off with 198 certs here just so we can save up to hit that max rank. At the 1000 cert milestone, we're going to cap out our medical applicator, then throw on a couple more layers of Nanoweave armor, which leaves us with 48 certs. After this, you're probably looking into unlocking C4, grenade bandolier, revive grenades, maxing out your nano regen device, etc, etc. But like I said, this is an example timeline, and there are many ways to go about developing the class. So it might be worth your while just to look at the tiered cert list again, and deciding on what best fits your personal playstyle, as well as how far along you already are with your progression. If this video has been interesting, helpful, or entertaining, please feel free to like, subscribe, tell your friends about the channel, and if you have any recommendations you can offer to newer combat medics, or if you find this guide useful in some capacity, please let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks very much, folks. Wrel signing off.